everyone. This podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.
Hypecast mit Tom Reimann und David Bell.
Hey, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of Hypecast, the show we get hyped for stuff. Yeah.
Woo.
We will never, ever do an intro that's not weird.
Mike, I called you Mike because
It's all coming apart.
you're caressing that microphone in ways that cannot possibly be fixing a problem.
I'm working the.
He's working
What are you doing? You're cupping it. You're cupping it like it has testicles.
Yep.
Good for you.
He's doing he's checking for hernias.
This is like episode 180 on the ongoing series. Dave creeps out at him on purpose.
Yeah.
Pretends like he's not doing it. It's too bad we're not recording that visually.
Yeah, we should be.
Also, Dave, why didn't you drink the beer I brought you? I brought this. I was like, Dave's going to like this. Tom, did I not say that?
I'm here.
did,
I'm
yeah.
here for like an hour, and then I gotta leave.
It's one beer, bro.
No. Okay. I'm responsible. I'm a responsible man.
You're still fondling the mic.
I'm responsible.
You're still fondling it.
I'm Dave, by the way.
This voice is Tom.
This one's Adam Ganser.
Yeah, it is.
It's also horrified.
What are we doing?
We're
don't
talking
know.
about.
Like in general, what are
we're
we doing?
talking about the news, the movie news.
the news. The news of movies.
You'll be delighted to know, audience, none of us is on anything except for I'm 3/4 of the way through a beer.
Yep.
You know,
It's like we're a minute into recording this and we're all exhausted
Got
immediately.
the
Yeah.
giggles.
yeah, we really did. That's
Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So we took last week off, but
We
now
did.
we're back.
With a surplus of trailers.
What did
Yeah.
you do with your time in your week off?
Nothing. I didn't get anything done.
What'd
We
you do,
barely
Dave?
took a week off. We were
Yeah.
like, let's take a week off for writing, but we still like recorded one podcast and streamed a couple times.
Yeah.
I kept writing something I've been writing. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I started a new, a really good mine in Minecraft. It's out of a glacier. It's a glacial mine.
I have a new computer. I'm still not going to play Minecraft with you.
We'll see about that.
Great. Dave's going to rat tattoo me is what he's going to do. Suddenly be pulling on my beard and like I'll be finding myself Minecrafting. All right,
We're
great.
training a horse before you know it.
No kidding.
It's an awful game.
It's great. I want to talk about. I'm really excited about this first trailer.
All right, let's talk about some
You're
trailers.
excited about this first trailer.
Yes, this first trailer
Okay.
is called "What Men Want." It is a gender-swapped remake of "What Women Want," coming to us from BET, and it has Shaq
That's
in it.
interesting. Yeah, I saw the Shaq.
It has Shaq in it, and it has Tracy Morgan.
And Taraji P. Henson.
Taraji.
Yeah, but it has Shaq in it.
It
That's
does have
the most
it has
important
Shaq
thing.
in it as Shaq.
We get to hear Shaq's thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is playing himself. And that's actually kind of a funny joke.
It's
And
a good bit.
and
Yeah. I don't want to rob anybody of the joy of
He
that.
thinks about him as like, well, I can't remember the line now, but he refers to himself in the third person.
It seems like-
Shaq finally has a winning hand. Why do I refer to myself in the third person?
Right. It seems like it's going to be just as like 90s awful as What Women Want. I enjoy What Women Want for what it is, which
I
is
kind of
like
Also liked that movie.
When it came out.
Yeah,
sure.
way back
Like,
when.
Now it's a horror
when,
movie.
Yeah, when he wasn't a monster.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, before we knew.
Yeah, before we knew.
Sure.
He was still a monster then. But the way they did that one where they're just like women are just filled with insecurities. That's what
Yeah.
we've decided. This one is just men are insane.
Right.
Men
Like
are
it's just
idiots.
men are clowns. That's what they're going
Yeah.
for this one. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, that's earned.
Yeah, for sure.
It is earned and deserved.
It's not a disputable.
No.
This is not a risky take.
No.
You know. Do you want to watch this movie?
It comes out on my birthday.
Then yeah, of course.
So
Wow.
Maybe this movie will go deeper than that. That would be. I mean,
It'll take
that's
one
the thing about
further
this.
step for sure.
A premise like this should go deeper than that. Like,
Yeah.
if
What do
it
you mean?
wants, I guess what I mean is that I'm trying to think of. I don't want to spoil Sorry to Bother You, but a movie like that just seems like I've learned to use my white voice, and then you watch it and you're like, oh shit, that's not what this is about at all.
no.
This goes way deeper than that. That's what I mean, is that this should be a movie that's like, she hears the thoughts of men. That could go real dark.
Oh yeah.
That could address things like toxic masculinity. It could address all sorts of
It's gonna
things
do
that are relevant
that.
to, well, or it could be a zany comedy about how men are dumb.
But it's going to do both those things, right? Like that's in this world of right now. How can you make this movie and not?
I know, even the original gets dark because he says that one lady who's suicidal, because
Yeah,
it's
right.
just like, yeah, if you hear the thoughts of a large
every
group
single
of people,
person. You're gonna catch
You're
some
gonna-
bad ones.
yeah,
Right.
you're gonna solve some mysteries.
You're gonna turn into the Riddler.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
too many questions. All right.
Yeah.
So wait, because I remember What Women Want actually somewhat vividly for a '90s movie I saw once in a theater.
Wow.
I know. So-
I've watched it recently. Go on.
Why would you do that?
Why are you
to
finding
yourself?
that mic again, you fucking ghoul? All right, so look. So like,
There's no excuse for that.
there really isn't.
The movie's like 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, he's got so much. You're already bringing the glee out so early. I didn't like.
What?
I didn't get the shields
it was
up,
like
man.
free on something, and I was like, well, fuck it. I got nothing to do. I'm gonna
enough.
watch what
Might
women
as well
want.
watch What Women Want.
Yeah.
Right. So that movie posits the idea that this player guy who doesn't really connect to women listens to their voices, right, and discovers a woman who is essentially better than him, and then like allows her to save him. Like they use that line.
He steals all our ideas.
Right, he steals all our ideas, but then he realizes, oh, I need to treat people better. So it's like a moral tale of him like coming to be compassionate. This is not going to be that, probably.
Who knows?
It's not going to be about her growing in compassion for men.
Well, they do.
That's not gonna
They do
happen.
start with her being like kind of villainous in the trailer.
They start with her
like
not
she's
being
a
able
hot
to
shot.
connect to men. I'm
Oh
putting
right.
quotes up.
So it's sort of just like she can't. Oh right. It's about her like sort of making it in the boys' club because it's the.
Yeah, it's like a
Oh,
glass
there's poker.
ceiling shit,
Yeah.
When she doesn't get the promotion that she thinks she's supposed to get.
So what women want is like he learns to actually be compassionate towards women. That was
what the
his
premise of
arc,
that
and that
movie
one was. And
Right.
this one, it's just her learning how to fucking deal with this bullshit from men.
Right, and that's where like certainly that's a valid satire. It's a pretty heavy movie though. That's like
Yeah.
a pretty heavy idea to put in a movie with this tone.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm kind of wondering. Well, that's probably not what they're going to do. So what are they going to do?
It might be just a zany comedy.
It
with Shaq
might just
in
be,
it.
yeah, it might just be wacky.
Okay, and then that lends me to the next question, which is about this, which is like, this is a movie that nobody needed a sequel to. What Women Want was not like, where's 2? We're hankering for it. What does Helen Hunt do? You know, like,
I needed a sequel.
you need a sequel to everything. Enough. So
That
why
would-
did they choose to brand this movie when they could have just stolen the idea? They could have just stolen it, and nobody would have been like, hey, that's what women want. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
she gets
I
access
think-
to thoughts of men. Why did we choose that brand?
I don't know.
I think
No?
because if you can have a brand these days that you can piggyback off of, then you
Yeah.
do it. Because people
given-
like me will be like, I remember the first one. I have to
I
amend.
wonder how faithful it will be
I-
to the original.
I do have to amend my story. I was writing an After Hours. Now I remember that's why I watched it.
It really
Is
didn't
it was
feel in
about
tone
it
for
was about movies that were horror movies from different perspectives, and it was
Great.
the fact that Mel Gibson is a maniac in that he sleeps with a woman by just reading her thoughts,
Yes.
and then sleeping with her.
It's
based
really
on
dark.
them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, that's the thing is like this is kind of a dark premise to revisit in this day and age when like the reality of gender inequality and politics are a lot more stark. Like
Yeah.
we don't have playful
yeah,
attitudes
and that's
about
what I
that
mean.
right
Is
now.
that
Yeah.
it's weird that they've taken this tone. Like that's what I mean. That it should be something more intense, like deeper.
Right,
I don't
and What
know.
Women Want seems like a movie that ought to be tarnished with the Mel Gibson effect, if any of his movies are.
Right, like that's like one of the more egregious ones I can
Right.
think of.
Yeah, I don't. It's just a strange decision. It's just very strange. It really makes me think that, as you said, Dave, like anytime you can quote something before, you have to do it in movies now, even if it's not even the best thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just looked this up. I wanted to confirm this isn't the first remake of What Women Want. I'm just throwing that out
You're
there.
blowing my fucking
One
mind.
was made in China as well. They made one for China.
Fair enough.
Of What Women Want.
I'm okay with that. That's not the same thing as
Yeah.
they rebooted this franchise a bunch of times.
No. But this is the third of the canon.
Well, they're not the
I'm
same
hoping.
universe, are
Well,
they?
all right, I'll have to watch the one from China, but like that's the only thing you could tie together is it's like the same magic, but it's not. In the original, Mel Gibson gets electrocuted while trying on women's products,
Right.
and in this one,
Wow.
she appears to have her.
Is that how it happens?
Yeah, the scene
He
is
falls.
God.
He might as well fall into a vat of women's clothes.
well. All right. It's
like the
it has to do
Joker.
with magic electricity. It's one of those things because he gets it taken away later by being struck by lightning again.
Wow.
And then this one, she like slams her head.
There's like
at a
5
club.
different points in this trailer where I thought she was getting the power.
She's
Like,
like
she
a
drinks
series
this
of
tea, and I was like, well,
calamities.
that'll be it.
I
No, then we're going to go out, and then she's going to hit her head.
That seemed like the same event. That seems like she thinks it's the tea, she hits her head, but
Yeah.
the tea actually did it.
Right.
Who knows? The lightning really interests me because that's insane. Like
Yeah,
insane
it's
way.
struck
him-
by lightning.
No, he's not. All right, the first time he has his foot in the bathtub, he like trips on the like beads, the bath beads or something,
Okay.
while wearing pantyhose and like trying on a bunch of like that's the whole bit is he's trying on these different products because his advertising company wants to
Need
aim
him to
at
know.
women, and then he like drops the hairdryer while listening to the song "Bitch." Remember that song?
Oh, of course I do.
yeah.
And then he drops the hairdryer in the tub, I believe, and it electrocutes him. And then he wakes up and he can hear his
Man,
maid's
it's
thoughts.
a miracle he wasn't killed.
Yeah, no, he tries it again.
Drops
He
a
electrocutes
hairdryer.
himself a second time to try to
Christ.
reverse it, and it doesn't work. And then he's struck by lightning in an alleyway. And like that's the part where they like you could tell they like were like it's some sort of magic because he's in like Chinatown and they do like mystical Chinese music and
Oh,
like
boy.
an old woman's like looking at him and he gets struck by lightning and it's like so it was magic like what
Yeah. I mean, I
it's
think
weird.
That's like funny enough. It's the kind of thing that if any of the three of us decided to write a screenplay, we would spend several hours on this one thing. Like, it
Yeah.
can't be a
Right.
fucking lightning bolt. That's
no,
bullshit.
I would just Groundhog Day it because Groundhog Day originally had a explanation, and then they
Yeah.
were smart enough to be like, there doesn't need to be one.
They're
And
correct.
That's the same with this.
Yeah, just have her wake up.
This is weird.
You know what's funny? I actually could see a Groundhog Day sequel. I could see
Sure.
that. That's not that
Well,
crazy
Edge
a
of
thing.
Tomorrow.
No, I don't mean repeat the idea of Groundhog Day. I mean,
Okay.
like, you could actually revisit that when he's an older man or whatever, and like,
Oh,
he
okay.
repeats his life again, and like what's there left to learn? I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I understand it might be dark. Maybe it happens to it happens to 9 Inch Nails Hurt. You know what I mean? They just watch him repeat his whole
Oh, yeah.
day. It's just a music video.
Oh
to Hurt.
God! What if
becomes
it's
a really
just he
sad
gets
movie.
Groundhog Day again?
Right?
But it's like maybe he's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You just caught it. You just caught the idea.
Sorry, yeah, that's what you were suggesting. I
Correct.
thought you were saying like it's just their marriage later, and it's like, hey, remember when I got Groundhog Day? I remember that.
That's more the cracked sketch of it. that's really more what that
You
is.
remember that
That's
time I
right.
got Groundhog Day? No, why would
No, I
you?
don't.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there, but you weren't there.
We
Yeah,
should.
because he would still know impossible things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny we never did that sketch, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Because that's like such an obvious sketch.
It'd be
All right.
really fun to pull a prank on like one person and convince someone you're being Groundhog Dayed. But what you'd have to do is you'd have to like hire actors to do things at coordinated times. So you can be like, that waiter's going to drop that cup. And then you hire a waiter to drop a cup.
It'd be a real pageant of a prank.
Yeah. It'd be a great
Real
prank.
theatrical. You'd need a whole troupe.
So you do it, and then
Yeah,
the next
yeah.
day, you'd have to be like, I'm free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Free,
The
my
next
God.
day you're running through and you're like have a big like personality change and you've like learned something very profound.
God, what a great prank. Too bad we explained it on the air.
Solid prank.
No, it's
Yeah.
all right. We'll just pull it on somebody who doesn't listen to the show.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Who could that be?
All right.
What's next?
Suspiria, this is like the actual full trailer.
What is this? Am I wrong?
Have you not seen the original?
No, I have not.
Oh.
Unfortunately. The only thing that struck me about this is Dakota Johnson's finally breaking free of the 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes.
And actually, I don't mind that.
Sure. No.
There's two more things, actually. I don't know who the protagonist of this movie is. I have no fucking idea from the trailer whose movie this is, which is pretty crazy.
I think it's because they're banking on people knowing the original. I think this is for a very specific group of people.
I think it's for people who like Radiohead, because like the only standout thing of it is Tom York's doing the music, which was all over all the music blogs today.
Yeah.
That's how I heard about this movie.
Oh, really?
You should watch the original Suspiria. It's one of the most beautiful horror movies.
Okay.
Who is it? Dario Argento?
Dario Argento, yeah. Soundtrack by Goblin.
Soundtrack by Goblin. It's like synth
Seems like it
soundtrack.
was made for me.
It's
Yeah.
a gorgeous film. It's what is it? It's a coven of witches.
It's a coven of witches at a dance school.
Yeah.
1977 Italian supernatural horror film.
Yep.
Okay.
We've actually kind of taken that for granted, that the idea, because when we talk about this on this show, we've just sort of assumed people know the
Yeah.
original.
What the original? Yeah.
And it's one of those films that it's like if I were told it's in the same realm of being told someone's going to sequel Blade Runner, I'd be like, well, that's not going to work. And then you see this Blade Runner sequel and you're like, wow, that was way better than I assumed.
Yeah.
This is the same, where it's like someone's going to remake Suspiria and I'm like, well, you can't do that. And then looking at this trailer, it's like, man, they might have actually made something
Like
good.
a good movie.
Yeah.
It looks incredible visually.
Yeah.
Like the visuals of it are all very impressive.
Yeah.
It's difficult for somebody who doesn't know the source material to extricate a sense of what the horror
What is this movie about? Yeah.
Yeah, other than like, okay, so it's witches and there's like a supernatural component to this and like it has general horror looking stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what they're trying to go for, is they're hoping that people like you will be like, I have to see this because I don't know what it's about.
Tom York is the reason why dopes like me are going to see this.
Right.
You know,
I think people who love horror would go see this if they didn't know the original.
Yeah, this is going to be a big deal. This is a big deal for horror fans.
Yeah.
So yeah, I continue to be impressed with the way the movie looks.
Yeah. It's still not as good as the original. Like watching this, seeing more of the visuals look less unique as the original. The original utilized a lot of bright colors. Like it's actually
I'm gonna watch
not.
this movie.
Yeah, it's not like a horror movie palette. And that's what made it really pretty.
It's intense
Yeah.
in the beginning, definitely.
Yeah.
There were some really good movies in that era. Like that era of late 70s for horror was like really important.
Oh, yeah, it's a great look.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like a lot of inspiration from that era I've seen now.
Yeah, and some of the newer like A24 pictures.
Yeah.
I have nothing negative to say about this.
Mhm.
Like I didn't look at it and go, this sucks, other than like,
I don't know what this is.
I don't know what it is,
I mean,
but
yeah.
like that was a lot of these trailers this time. I didn't know what they were.
Yes.
I mean, I would say the majority of them I wasn't totally clear, which is unusual.
These are all mysterious figs.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't say too much in any of these trailers.
So yeah, Suspiria comes out soon-ish, right?
I think October?
October?
I don't know. I mean, I have the same.
Yeah.
I have the same feelings as you, Tom. Where I'm like, nothing so far, so good. You know.
I mean, you guys watched Slender Man,
We did.
so you can't like turn your nose up at
Well,
Suspiria.
no.
We watched Slenderman knowing it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Like Suspiria, if it's bad, I don't expect it to be amazing. Like I don't expect it to be as good as the original, because the original's the original.
Certainly. That's two balls in your hands now.
But
He's just washing those orbs.
Really going back
yeah.
to it. Yeah.
But yeah, I see no reason why I wouldn't enjoy this movie.
I just want to remind everyone that I watched you watch Dark Web 2 or what was the name of that movie?
Unfriended Dark Web.
Unfriended 2 Dark Web. I was there for that, and nobody looked over when I did all the air guitars for all the great jokes they were doing. 'Cause every time they made a joke, we needed an air guitar. All of them. Okay.
That goddamn film.
So we should talk about Roma,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the next trailer. Fucking Alfonso Cuarón.
Cuarón. Yeah.
Cuarón. I
Cuarón.
am surprised this isn't a wide release, because like
Well, it's
He's a
Netflix.
big deal.
It's a Netflix film. It's
Yeah.
Netflix.
Getting a release.
This is what's
Yeah.
happening, is that Spielberg came out and said, I don't think Netflix films should get Oscars. He said that, I think, last year. What he was basically, the reason he was saying it, he wasn't saying they were bad.
Right.
He was like, they should get
Theatrical release.
Emmys, like they're TV movies, and it's like, I get what you're saying. We watch them on a TV, but Netflix is not really. It's like there's no such thing as like TV and film as much. You know what I mean?
Spielberg just turned 100 years
Exactly.
old. Like as soon as he said it, he
and
aged up just like the
This
Nazis
is
the
did when they
villains in
opened
his
the-
own film.
We
Yeah.
talked about this, I think, on the last Hypecast about the problem with the new Oscar category and stuff. It's kind of the problem with all of the world is just baby boomers. Like, the reason the
Yep.
Oscars is a pain in the ass to watch is because it's just all still baby boomers, like, voting for movies that are about making movies and fucking fish.
I mean, sure, but then again, Moonlight won Best Picture 2 years
That's
ago.
true, yeah.
And Get Out won Best Screenplay, and who won
Yeah.
Best Director last year? I can't remember.
It was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, it was Del Toro.
Which he deserved.
I mean, that's
It shouldn't
a
have won
Lifetime
Shape of
Achievement
Water.
Award.
Yeah.
But still.
It is well directed.
But
Sure.
I think what's happening is there's
You're like,
there's
fine.
just
It is, but
I've read a few articles about people not in the Academy not feeling like Netflix is legitimate, and Netflix right now is like, well, fuck you guys, because basically the reason it's a limited release, going back to that, is because you don't qualify for
Right.
the Oscars unless you've.
That's
been
what
on-
I'm rolling my eyes because at every turn in the last 10 years, we continue to have people not understand the importance or potency of the internet.
right.
Like, it's every fucking time. We still haven't figured this out. The internet has changed our politics this year.
yes.
The internet has changed the movie landscape. The internet has changed what is funny, where the talent goes, how the money structures stuff. And because, like, dudes like that don't get it,
yeah.
like, it's things like Netflix and the internet business doesn't get the money it should
Right.
or the exposure that it should. So now Netflix has to go and release a movie that probably they don't intend to into a theater and do a half-assed job of it, and that's
Yeah.
stupid.
But
You know?
I think right now it's a good relationship though, because I think what's happening is someone like Alfonso Cuarón did fucking. I mean, he did Children of Men, but
Yes.
right now, statistically speaking, he's done like blockbusters. He did
Gravity.
and Harry Potter, and both great. But I think he wants.
Y tu mamá también. Isn't that him? I think
maybe.
it
Was that early?
is. I think that might be his first big film.
Okay.
That's an amazing movie if you haven't seen that.
I think what's happening though is I think he probably wanted to make this very personal film because that's what this seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
And he went to studios and they're just like, I don't know, is there superheroes in it? I know that's an exaggerated version of it, but like it feels like studios are now looking to do that, looking to make these big, money making movies. And then Netflix is just trying, they want a fucking Oscar. I think they got one already for best documentary.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's just that it's them.
They'll make one.
Like it's them. Like, oh yeah, come to us. We'll make you this movie for you.
Wasn't that the issue? Because I remember they were trying to push for Idris Elba in Beasts of No Nation, but
Yeah.
there was like some issue, and I think it was the theater thing where it didn't have
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and so I think this is just
It's a matter of time. It's like
Yeah.
the idea of needing a theatrical release is already cartoonish.
right.
Because most of the Oscar movies release in one theater the
Yeah.
year that they're up for it so that they can meet the criteria, and they don't always release the same fucking movie when it finally comes out.
Yeah,
They
Right.
recut it and stuff. It's all garbage. It's
yeah.
like,
It's all
look, was it a movie made in that time period? Does it matter where we watched it? You know what I mean? Like, this movie, to me, looks fine. I don't know what it's about, but it doesn't, Alfonso Cuarón gets a free pass from me. I think he's a great filmmaker.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Who cares where it comes out? Is
very-
it good? That's what I care about. Is
Yeah.
it a good
Yeah.
movie? Give it an Oscar if it deserves it.
I will say that seeing Gravity in the theater was
that was
must.
astounding.
Yeah.
That's the thing is this movie doesn't seem like a movie that needs to be seen in theaters. And if a movie doesn't have to be seen in theaters, I do appreciate it where it can be like, and here it is on Netflix.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, just watch it. It's right here. You can watch it.
I get
anytime you
I get
want.
so delighted when that happens.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, this movie I wanted to watch is on Amazon.
Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't want to make those decisions about whether a movie should be in the theater or not. I don't want people making that decision for me. I want the movies to be in the theater, and I can go, because going to a theater is not just for Gravity. It's for, like, I want to watch a movie in a theater. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's a unique experience. Like, for instance, did you see Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind in the theater?
Yeah, and it was great in the
It was
theater.
amazing
Yeah,
in the
no.
theater, but did it need to be in the theater? No.
I definitely
Doesn't
think
matter.
the theater experience is great for. It's more just if a movie can't. I'd rather a movie exist than can't afford to be seen.
I agree
you
with
know?
that. Sure.
And so I think that's what might have happened with this movie.
I don't want the world where Netflix means that only blockbusters exist in theaters and everything that I would like to see, which is usually not the blockbuster,
Right.
as only on Netflix. Even though I like my Netflix.
Yeah.
I like how my couch is. It's nice there.
My couch, pretty sweet.
You know, I've invested a lot of money into this at this point, and I'm living with it. But, like, I still want to be able to go to the theater and see whatever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just don't want it
Moonlight
to just
2,
keep.
The Reckoning.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or whatever the movie
So,
is.
There is that. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna try to steer the conversation more back toward this film, specifically Roma. Can't tell what it's about.
Is it? Do you think it's in Rome? Can you even tell?
Can't tell.
I think
doesn't
it's
look like Rome.
I did look it up and I don't remember. It's just a very personal, I think, story about a kid.
Yeah, it
and his
looks
mom
like-
or something.
Like we were saying before we started recording, it looks like a citizens' uprising or a
Yeah.
revolution or
Yeah.
some sort of armed conflict is taking place.
I mean, I can tell you the things that stood out to me about it. There's nothing about it that seemed like it took place in Rome. There was only one character that seemed like really memorable, and it was the
woman,
girl, right? But she wasn't. I don't know how old she was. Maybe 20.
Yeah.
She was pretty young.
Yeah.
She seemed to be the through line, and there were the shots of people running in the streets that looked like pandemonium had broken out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Otherwise, it just seemed
Yeah.
sort of like a journey through what may be a Southern American country. You know?
Well,
Because it didn't look like it didn't look like a city, like a proper city. Did it look like that to you?
No.
Yeah, that's all I know.
I like that's in black and white.
Well, so I'm wondering if
Yeah.
it's about a civil war of some kind, like the fall of an empire,
Mhm.
but in some country that we don't know the history of. We
Oh.
3 white American men don't know.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
The limits
that's
of
what I'm
our vast knowledge.
I don't know. If I know anything about modern black and white, it's about a bunch of slacker kids just hanging out.
Yep.
I love that it's in black and white.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Y Tu Mamá También? Have you seen it?
I don't think I have actually.
No, I didn't.
So is that
movie is
his?
stunning. Yeah, it's great. It's his first major movie.
I'll have to see that.
I remember when it came out because it was a big deal. Like
Yeah.
it was a very buzzy film.
This movie feels like a return to that, which is interesting because that movie feels nothing like what you know him for. Like,
Right.
Like you know him, as you said, for blockbusters.
Yeah.
That's a really
Yeah.
intimate
I
story.
think my introduction to him was the third Harry Potter. I just remember watching that and being like, wait, why is this way better than the other Harry Potters? What happened? Like, why are there wonder shots in my Harry Potter? And then I remember Children of Men trailer, and it was like from the director of Harry Potter. It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
Who is this man?
Children of
man.
Men is such a right turn, considering when you watch Y Tu Mamá También, you're like, I know what kind of career this guy's gonna have. Probably. Nope. Children of Men is like, whoa,
Yeah.
big divergence.
Yeah.
and it's cool.
Yeah.
I'll see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
definitely
Cuarón
want
gets a
to.
free pass.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
He hasn't done anything since Gravity, has he?
No, he hasn't.
No, he probably was tired after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That movie, he was probably like, fucking, I need to sleep for a couple years.
let me sleep for about 5 years.
I watched Gravity recently. It's sort of I have the same with relationship to it that I do Fury Road, which is that I don't watch it that often, and I know why when I watch it because I'm exhausted afterwards.
It's tiring.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
holy shit! But it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's a great film.
Yeah,
It's a truly innovative action film.
yeah.
You know how we talk about like what are the great action movies? We always forget Gravity, but Gravity is an action movie.
It is.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
and it's unique.
The people got bogged down with the science, and I think that's where they went wrong because they might have started this when they were like, "Look how grounded and realistic it is," and it's like, no, like that space station shouldn't be there, and that can't happen. And I think that people started like pushing back and being like, "Fuck Gravity," it's all, it's not. But like that's like you said, it's an action film, and like the point of it is just we don't need aliens, we don't need a Star War. Like space is fucking scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On its own.
Space is an asshole.
Yeah.
Right. It took space sort of on what you might call contemporary science-based terms.
Yeah.
And just did an action thriller out there.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
enough.
pretty dope.
A great movie.
Yeah, it's an awesome movie. What's next?
Oh, here it comes. This next one is the one, man.
Hunt for the Trump tapes.
Oh, the fucking
It's a
Tom
TV
Arnold
show, right?
Tom Arnold's TV show. He's
Why
gonna-
is it a TV show?
I don't know.
Why is it a TV show?
I'll tell you why.
I'm ready.
Because he didn't find anything.
Because he didn't find the tapes.
Because this whole thing, if he had found the tapes, we would have already known, right?
No, I think Tom Arnold is
He would hold
one
them?
of the most exploitative people. in
Is he going to
business.
jinx the president? Like,
No.
is it going to be like the
This is
last
gonna be
episode?
nothing.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be nothing.
I think it's going to be nothing. It's that he's gonna. It's him. It's Roger and me. It's him trying to be Michael Moore. It
Yes.
feels like.
Yeah,
That's
it's
exactly what I said to
Exactly,
Tom.
Yeah.
exactly what Adam was saying.
But also, let's not forget, Tom Arnold is the guy who's essentially famous for being an asshole to Roseanne Barr.
yeah.
Like,
Right.
that's basically why he's famous.
Well, in True Lies,
Yes, he was a character in True Lies. That's true.
That
was
is
a
the
great part of
the
True
best
Lies.
he's ever been in anything.
Yeah, that's
is
him at
True
top of his
Lies. Yeah,
game.
I'm
that's-
sure he's been in other things that I can't, like The Stupids. Isn't he in that
Oof,
movie?
yeah,
I
he
know.
is.
Ugh.
That is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But
Right, I'm not a Tom Arnold fan. This just feels exploitative for the obvious reasons, and exploitative for the less obvious reason of, like, Tom Arnold has been desperately trying to get us to remember him this year. Like, just desperately trying to do it. This
Yeah.
is one way, and also he was all over that Roseanne story.
Yeah, it feels like a trashy distraction. The ending, the title over like a bunch of VHS tapes with just piss pouring
that
on them.
was really.
It was
yeah.
like, this is just gross.
Hold for Ghost Rider.
I know
Hold
we're going
for
to cut this,
ghostwriting.
but I have to say, that man's an American hero. Like, he's an
Yeah.
institution. Like, with that truck, that's the loudest engine I've ever heard.
It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
It's not a bit much.
I'm gonna leave this in. The last time we had to hold for that guy, Adam just lit up with glee because I was so pissed.
This man's such a garbage person. Like, this thing is the Babylonian ziggurat of loud.
Yeah.
It's like a wonder of the world how loud this fucking truck is. It's impossible.
The mics might not have picked him up, and so we're just talking.
We're
like
talking about a
maniacs.
guy you can't even hear. No.
Then add it in post.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh,
like,
I'll
go
add
record
that.
him wild
Just
sounds.
had you going. Rum, 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 rum.
No, there's some dickhead who every time he starts his car, it fucking shakes the entire building.
Yeah.
It's the kind of loud that when I would make stuff at Cracked and any noise that's even a tenth as loud would happen, I would become instantly furious. Just instantly
Yeah.
furious. Like I was a terror in our office sometimes because of that kind of
Okay,
shit.
okay. I guess we're holding now.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say okay, and then I would go to the person making the noise and be like, "Can this stop?" You know, I did that shit every fucking shoot. Anyway, I'm a monster. I admit it.
But yeah, I don't think anything's going to come from this.
No, of course not.
I think
Well,
it's,
not truth, if that's what you're looking for.
No,
No, it's gonna.
the best case scenario is it like infuriates Trump, and we get some entertainment out of that, some bleak
He's
entertainment.
mad every day.
Yeah, I know, I know.
Dude wakes up furious.
Yeah.
Just angrily shitting out his Big Mac from the night before.
I mean,
Is this on like Vice? This feels like it's on
It is
Vice.
on Vice.
Viceland,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is a Vice thing to do.
This is very Vice culture.
Yeah.
Well, there's things about it that I like. Like, I like that. I kind of like that they're rounding up all the people who've had problems with Trump and sort of sneaking them into this documentary.
Yeah.
Like all the celebrities.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Penn Jillette stuff sounds like it's that the Penn Jillette stuff seems to have not the most credibility, but I'm like, because he's the only person I think who's come out and said like, oh yeah, I know he's used like he said racist things because I was in the room when that was happening and they were recording. And so like I haven't heard anybody else really come out and say that who was on The
People
Apprentice.
seem to be afraid to talk about that story.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Even Penn Jillette's like, I'm not going to give details. His reasons, he had good reasons for not giving details that I related to, at least, because he was just like, I'm a magician. I exaggerate things, and I just naturally, I don't want to go on the record of trying to quote this memory, and getting it wrong. Because it seemed like he felt like we're going to hear these tapes at some point or something.
And I don't want to
like
be the one that made it worse than it was.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, and that sounded reasonable. Like, especially right now, it's just like, I don't want to say anything that's going to become a headline.
Yeah.
I 100% get that. If
Yeah,
I'm
totally.
if I'm at all mixed up in anything that Trump did,
Yeah.
I like want to get the facts straight right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I do want to say this kind of passed as we were talking about the truck. The fact that this ends with the urination on the tapes
Yeah.
tells you exactly where we are in terms of what kind of entertainment this is.
Yeah.
It's,
Like, perhaps Royal Rumble 99 is actually a little bit higher brow than this.
Absolutely.
That is possible.
it's just gross. Like
Yeah.
everything about it is gross.
It's repelling.
It's repellent.
It really is. Yeah.
It truly is. Good for Tom Arnold.
Yeah.
No,
glad you're making a
I'm not
buck,
giving
buddy.
that to him.
No.
No, he needs to make something worth it for us to care about him. And if he doesn't, then he's just exploiting this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at least Michael Moore might be crazy. You know what I mean? At least he has that going for him, and
Sure.
he believes his horse shit. He like really believes.
Yeah,
it,
he
you know?
does.
It's
and
a shame
sometimes
that
he's right.
he
you know?
interviewed Schwarzenegger in this. I saw. I'm
saw
looking
that
forward
too.
to Schwarzenegger. I love it whenever Schwarzenegger dunks on President Trump because it's just like you can't fuck with Schwarzenegger. Like you just can't. Like Trump probably loves Schwarzenegger films, like we all do.
Why wouldn't he?
doesn't?
Yeah.
And like Schwarzenegger could, hurt him, could kick his ass.
Sure.
Not that he would, but he's
But
just
he's
like this
also, like-
old muscle man who's just
Yeah.
like, fuck this guy.
I mean, he's got Arnold strength, plus now he's got old man strength.
exactly. He's looking
Old man
great.
strength's a real
Have you
thing.
seen
Yeah,
him? He's looking. He's.
Have I
think.
seen him?
Have I
I
seen
think.
Arnold?
Well, have you seen him recently? Like
Yes.
really? Yeah, he's getting better. Like I think he's like he's Morgan Freeman. Like he's meant to be an old man. Like he's coming into his body.
I'm going to say this. He was at YouTube one day when we were shooting
Oh yeah.
at Cracked, and I may or may not have received a wink from him
Ooh.
walking by.
When he
Best day of
grows
my
a
life.
beard, he looks like fucking Zeus. He's great.
He really does. He really does.
Holy shit.
Trump is probably afraid of Arnold Schwarzenegger because I think Arnold Schwarzenegger is actually the person that we will never turn on.
Right.
We're just not going to turn
I think
on.
Right.
for
and
everybody,
been,
it's
we've been given
many
some
opportunities.
opportunities
Yeah.
to turn on old Arnold.
Look,
He's like-
he
it's
was
like-
Terminator, man.
Yeah.
That's the deal.
It's a fear and respect. It's like the ocean. Like
He is Arnold Schwarzenegger is exactly like the ocean.
yeah.
Dave just grew a 6-foot beard. Like just magically when he said that line. His face got sun scorched. And a deep pensive look crossed across his brow. It was amazing.
It's sad that there's a project right now involving Tom Arnold and Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's not True Lies 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this.
It's this.
The garbage. This garbage fire. Brought to you by Vice.
Yeah.
I guess this is a thing that if you were a True Lies fan, you would look forward to.
Yeah,
This
you
reunion.
take what you can get. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they bump into Jamie Lee
Yeah.
Curtis at the Starbucks that they're at or whatever. Yeah, fair enough.
Moving on. What do we got?
Star Wars Resistance. I didn't know this was happening. I know there was like a million Star Wars things
Yeah.
coming up. It looks like a fun little cartoon for little babies.
For little baby
kids.
Disney babies.
Yeah.
Little Disney
Oscar
baby boys and
Isaac.
What do you think this is?
I think it's just them doing like Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But
Again.
it's
For the
it's
new
for the
films.
current one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised that Oscar Isaac was in there, but I guess
Is that him or is it just a
it
drawing
is.
of him?
It seemed
No,
like
it's
his voice.
his voice, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
also what's her name, Captain Phasma. She's
The woman
Brienne
from
of Tarth. What the hell?
Game of
is
Thrones,
Gwendolyn Christie. Shit,
Gwendolyn
I was blanking on her
Christie.
name for a
her
second.
voice as well, and I think those were the only two I saw. I guess Leia's going to be in it as a character. I'm assuming they didn't record anything with Carrie
Probably
Fisher.
not. No.
They get so on board with Leia in this trilogy.
I don't know, but I think
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
weird. That's a weird decision.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Maybe the other
it's-
two weren't.
It's
As a
Kathleen Kennedy, maybe
Yeah.
because she took over Lucasfilm, and she was probably grew up like she started with Lucas she started with Spielberg since Raiders.
Yeah.
And then she's always been entangled in that. And maybe she was just this whole time like, I want some Leia. I want to get some Leia in here.
Get some layup in there. Although they are having Mark Hamill is in the new one.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's going to be
Force
blue.
Ghost. Yeah, he's going to be the Force Ghost.
I don't hate that.
I guess for this one, it's all old footage of Carrie Fisher for the third one.
I
That's how they
assume.
do it. That was nice of them because they came out and they were like, we're not going to Paul Walker this.
Yeah.
And everybody was
Well,
just
because-
like, we appreciate that you're not going to do that. It's fucked up that we have to have this conversation.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
There's nothing about this cartoon to be upset about.
No.
Except unless you're like, I don't want any more Star Wars stuff to
Yeah,
exist.
it looks fine.
I don't think I'm going to watch it, but it looks fun. I
Sure.
liked how it looked a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting animation style.
It's almost like
Yeah.
cheap 2005 animation,
looks
but
like-
it looks good.
It looks like like somebody cell shading 3D animation.
Yeah.
It does look like that.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
a kind of Borderlands look to it.
Yeah, just a little
A
bit.
little bit, not full on Borderlands.
Yeah, it's like
I wish it was just a little clearer what it's about. Like, I get it, resistance
Yeah.
fighter pilots.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like I know more than that about almost every show.
I'm guessing they're going to introduce a bunch of low-level resistance
Yeah,
people,
new
and then
characters
every
for
now and
the
then
show.
Oscar Isaac will cameo. They'll have him do couple lines here and there. I don't know.
Right. This is essentially their Starship Icarus.
Right? Yeah,
Like, this is their, like, lower level flunkies.
Yeah.
that work in the resistance.
I think
and
so.
Just do this and that, and like their tales and romances and so forth.
Their
Great.
tales.
You guys remember
Their
that?
adventures.
You guys remember that video game that David Duchovny did the voice for? What was it? It was a number, like 13 or something.
Nope.
Nope.
Really? It was a cell shaded video game. That's what it's reminding me of a little bit. You guys never that passed you right by? There was a video
Right by
game,
me.
a first person shooter where the main character's voice was David Duchovny.
I vaguely remember this now.
You played as David Duchovny.
I see. Duchovny doesn't land for me. I didn't watch X-Files, so I get it.
But
I did watch Californication,
no,
and that repulsed me.
Just watch the X Files. I don't think there's much else.
The Cove didn't really do it for me when I was watching through Californication.
He's sort of just Mulder. Like he's sort of Shatner in that regard. Like he's kind of
Yeah, he's better when he's just being the little weirdo that is.
that is
Fox
Agent
Mulder.
Fox Mulder. I think there's no other version of him.
He's just a weird gremlin.
I don't know. He's borderline Jeff
Watch
Goldblum.
Californication?
No, because I knew not to. Because it's,
No, because I knew
because
better.
David Duchovny started his
accept your
career. He started his career in the movie Beethoven, and like it never
Oh,
got
yeah.
better. Yeah,
He's one of those rich yuppies.
yeah.
Gets
And-
dragged
Turns
by
his ass
Beethoven.
Yeah,
right
yeah, yeah.
upside down. Oh, man.
It was unbelievable. This dog, you gotta see it.
Like I'm watching X Files season 3, I believe, and I'm just like, this is peak. Like you watch X Files season 1, and it looks like a dog that didn't grow into it, like hasn't grown into
With
his
real big
body.
paws.
Yeah.
He's tripping all
not.
over the
He's not
place.
even a human yet. And then like you hit season 3, and you're like, this is peak David Duchovny.
pure Cove.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid Coveney.
All right, just here's what I want you to do, Dave. I want you to select 5 X-Files episodes that I have to watch.
Jose Chung's from Outer Space.
No, don't do it now. 'Cause I'm not going to remember or
Buckman's-
listen to it.
Okay.
Write them down,
Final
and I'll
Repose.
watch them, and then you can interview me about
All
them.
right, and the Anasazi, the trilogy there is fucking solid.
No means
That's
no,
5 right there, but there's still more. There's like DPO. There's the Dreamland ones are pretty good.
Just start naming
Drive.
episodes.
I mean, well, no, that's almost too far down. I was just watching Pusher. I didn't realize Vince Gilligan wrote Pusher. Shit, you should watch Pusher.
Pusher's real good.
Pusher is Jessica Jones season 1 in an episode.
Write this down, Dave,
Okay.
and I will watch them, and you and I can have a conversation about this.
Okay.
And I will let you tell me why it was good and why what I think is wrong.
Well, it's definitely
And then I will tell you
it's
why you're
definitely
wrong.
the
Yeah.
90s, which is
I
a
know.
problem.
That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
excited about
there is
the 90s. I was there.
Yeah.
there is an episode about video games.
Oh,
There's
boy.
a few.
That's going to be real good.
The one about video games, the VR one is really bad.
Yeah.
That's later season. That's when they stopped giving a shit. There's an episode where the villain is cats. That's I think considered the worst X-Files episode. Like it's the lowest rated one. The villain is literally a clouder of cats. It is a swarm of angry cats.
And yet, look how much joy you have from it.
Because it's so dumb. All right. We should probably go to the next one.
Sure.
Pretty good.
My Memory of Us. This is a video game.
Yeah.
So liven things up.
Yeah. This is a video game.
This is
I think this is a noble thing to try to do.
I think so too. It's a side scroller puzzle about 2 kids in Nazi occupied Poland, except they're robots.
Except they're robots.
Yeah.
They're
It's
robots,
it's a
and
robot
the kids kind of look like something out of Cuphead or early Disney movies.
Right.
A little bit.
You know,
It's kind of it's not a super realistic art style.
no, I feel like it's inspired
Yeah.
by Mouse. You know what I mean? Like by that comic series.
Right.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like it's
have-
that kind of idea. You know?
I have one question about it.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably the answer will be the gameplay. Why are they robots? Because the designers are saying in this Polygon article I linked, like they're saying we're also going to have like famous historic Polish like actual people from history who like helped out the
Maybe
Jews
they
during
just-
this time.
Maybe they just didn't want to use Nazi imagery.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, I guess what I'm saying is that like they're using like historic figures, except they're robots.
Except they're robots. Yeah.
And
Wait,
maybe
are
it
the
is
robots
like
helping?
no,
I thought it was people.
it's people, but they're based off real historic figures.
Yes.
So that's I guess that's what's weird about it is that like when you look at like Wolfenstein,
Right.
they're showing the evil version so they can like parody them and
Right.
throw pies at them. It doesn't matter. Hitler can be stupid. But this one they're like honoring actual people, but it's in this robot world. My guess is that like you said, it takes the edge off a little.
I think it
Yeah,
does.
maybe.
I think it also has a sneaky other factor, which is it makes you only think of the victims as humans.
Right.
Oh.
It focuses your emotional capacity to only people.
They say that in the trailer. They talk about how they're robots. They don't feel anything.
Exactly. That means I don't have to think of it as a complicated affair. I can concentrate my feelings only on the effects of their decisions,
Right.
and not be like, "How could human beings do this?" The kind of conversation I would normally have.
Mhm.
It doesn't.
Right.
It lessens the complications of it.
I think it also probably makes the puzzles cooler. That was my other thing. Is that I think maybe the steampunkness might make the
robots.
gameplay a little more entertaining. I think what they're doing is good. Like I think it's cool that they're doing
Why
this.
not?
Yeah, sure. It reminded me a lot of this other game called Valiant Hearts. Which
I think
is...
they referenced that in the article.
Oh, they do?
Yeah,
Cool.
a bunch of times. Yeah.
I haven't heard of that game.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's a side-scrolling puzzle game. You play as a couple of different people through World War One.
Okay.
Actually, video games are getting more bold, like especially indie games are getting more bold in terms of what they're willing to tackle.
Mhm.
Oh
A
yeah.
couple years ago, there was a game called That Dragon Cancer, I want to say.
Yes. Yep.
Which was an amazing, like, sort of basically an experience explaining the story of a kid who got cancer.
Right. It's about. It's almost about teaching compassion and empathy.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly the kind of thing that is needed in that
Yeah.
format because, in general, video games don't usually reinforce compassion.
VR is being used that way too.
Yeah, and that's
sometimes good, sometimes bad. I know there was a 9/11 simulator. It simulated being in one of the towers during it, and I watched a clip of it, and it was like. It sort of worked. I don't want to criticize it because their hearts were in the right place, but it was like, I don't know. Like it was kind of strange. It was kind of it's weird because when they're trying to do this stuff, then you're watching, you're like, gameplay and graphics isn't very good. It's just like
Well,
I'm
that's the
criticizing it for.
They keep thinking of it like it's Strange Days. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
You put on that VR thing,
Yeah.
and suddenly you're experiencing
You're
another person's
seeing someone
experience.
else's fucking vision.
Right. You know.
We gotta get that. We gotta get some Strange Days going.
I got a DVD right over there
I
on the
really like
shelf,
that
man.
Oh, I mean, like,
Huh?
I really like
we
that
need
movie.
that
It's
to
a
be
good
a
film.
reality.
I think.
I've been trying to think for a long time of a bad movie that I love that I would defend to you.
When'd
I
you-
really can't think of
You
it.
come up with one.
I've been thinking.
All right.
Let's sit here in silence while I think some more.
Right.
No, I've been like, I keep making this joke because I've heard a few people say that, and I'm waiting for them to like go through their collection and be like, no, Citizen Kane, that's good. Zardoz, that's a classic going on. Like, and it's like
Right.
there'll just be one
Flubber,
movie that,
obvious.
Yeah,
Flubber, obviously, Flubber's good.
102
Untouchable.
Dalmatians. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
It's up there on the shelf.
Yeah.
Untouchable.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm
No-
sure
no
I have
problem
one.
there.
I
No.
should let you go through it.
Adventures
I
of
should let you
Rocky
look
and
at my
Bullwinkle.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
not
I
no mistake.
I would say
Right.
maybe, no, you probably know already. Because that's the thing is like go and look at like Rotten Tomatoes
Right.
and see if any of them have like an abysmal score.
Pretty unlikely.
Yeah. No, I believe you. This next one.
Okay, so this next one's An Evening with Beverly, Luff, Linn.
Yes.
What do you think this is?
I
I'm
don't know.
So excited to find out. The
They-
director of this did one film that we included on a Cracked article for movies that deserve more hype called The Greasy Strangler. And it was about just that. And it was like this really shitty looking indie film. It reminded me of like Rubber. It was like that
You
weirdness.
love Rubber
yeah.
so much.
I never saw The Greasy Strangler,
oh man.
and I
Oh,
need
wow.
to because it just
Go
slipped
home
through.
tonight.
I think I
and
might
watch the Greasy Strangler.
because whatever it is, it made all these comedians go, "Let's be in this person's next movie."
Yeah, it's Jermaine Clement,
Yep, Aubrey Plaza.
Aubrey Plaza.
I don't.
There were a few others.
I didn't really know anybody in it like well other than Aubrey Plaza. She was sort of the big draw of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was trying to figure out exactly what things this
Craig
reminds me
Robinson's
of.
on it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Craig Robinson. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't connect the dots to particular IPs. You know what I mean? Because like I would say like, oh, it's 70s like this, or it's like you know, weird like Wes Anderson, but it kind of isn't any of those things.
That's why I like these, because it might be a big miss, but it's a hell of a swing.
Like the wigs are horrifying in this movie.
Yeah, the fucking Emil Hirsch is wearing a crazy ass like just platinum wig.
They're all bad. All the wigs and hair are bad. It's clearly a choice.
Emil Hirsch is in this? Old Choky Emil?
Oh, Choky
Old
McPunch.
Choky McPunch?
He assaulted
cast
a
him
woman
in things.
producer at
Did he?
Oh, yeah.
Cannes?
And like on the red carpet.
Yeah, it was at one of the major.
God.
Is that one? It was at one of the major film festivals like a year ago. Yeah,
I don't know why he's still getting cast. There must be another side to that. Like the producer must have been like a supervillain trying to like block out the sun or something because he choked this person and hit them, and then he's still in movies.
And now he's still in movies. Yeah, he's gearing up to be in that John Belushi biopic.
Right.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what fucking leverage he's got.
Yeah.
That's kind of the bummer of that situation is like, let's suppose the best case scenario, which is there was a perfectly good explanation for that.
To attack someone.
let's suppose that. I can't say it.
Sure.
But like if there was, none of us would hear about it.
Yeah.
That we would never know. So like we're all just sort of left in this like netherworld of like, well, I was real mad about that.
Yeah,
it's
that's a real fucked up thing.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Are we moving on?
Right. And nobody ever explains it. They just kind of keep going.
Nope.
That's
this film looks insane. I don't even know how to classify it. It's sort of Wes Anderson-y is, I think, apt.
right.
Yeah, it has a kind of like the vibe of the Napoleon Dynamite filmmaker.
Yeah.
A bit.
Jared Hess.
This is why
Hess.
this is why I'm excited for it. I hope it's fucking weird. I like Running Scared. That was one where it was like
That
the trailers. They were able to trick everybody. They were able to get like just enough footage to not so people didn't know it was a fucking weirdo film. Or like Smokin' Aces. Like these aren't great films, but again, they're trying for something that's really fucking weird, and I appreciate that.
There's nothing about this that makes me frustrated, but it also isn't enough of a thing that I want to watch it. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like it's not enough. Like when I watch a Wes Anderson trailer, aside from knowing it's Wes Anderson, it's enough. Like it's like that Grand Budapest Hotel. Look how that shit looks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see that.
Yeah.
No problem. Because it's like
Look
really
at these delightful performances.
Right.
Look how much of this it is.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see that.
Yeah.
This isn't quite enough. You know.
Yeah. This is.
Yeah, it's a very. I don't know what it is.
This
but
has.
I'll watch it.
Yeah. This has the Greasy Strangler. Part of the reviews of that of people saying it was really good because it did get good reviews, but it's people saying like it's really good. If you don't mind seeing like an old man dick and like this other gross stuff, like it's that where it's like that's why it's like the same reason like a really tragic film is like you have to psych yourself up to watch it. You have to be in the right mood. This is just like it sounds like it's a lot on the brain.
Oh yeah.
There's another movie called Low Life that I've been meaning to see that is out on streaming that's kind of similar. It has great reviews, but you watch the trailer and you're just like like this seems like it's gonna take a lot out of me to watch.
Yeah, that movie Revenge was like that for me.
Yeah.
It's very good, but it's a journey.
Every Gaspar Noé film is like that for me. Every single one of those. Have you seen any of his movies?
I don't think so.
He made Irreversible, which is yeah, Irreversible is.
I don't think I saw anything
a room
from
full
him
of
after
groans.
that.
Well, he made Enter the Void.
Yeah, no, I
didn't see
avoided.
Enter the Void is incredible, and also like Requiem for a Dream, kind of a one-time watch.
Right,
and then he made Love, and Love
isn't that the 3D one?
It might have had 3D in it.
Yeah.
Love is really crazy, and not really crazy in a violent way, just like really crazy. It's really sexual and crazy.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
I am fascinated
like
by
there's
how to decode
I'm sorry,
that.
I'm going to tell you. There's a shot from inside a vagina of a man culminating.
Oh, jeez.
And it's like CGI because he
It's
didn't
3D,
shoot that.
yeah,
Yeah, he didn't shoot that. But like that exists in this movie, and it's like okay.
Oh yeah, these. It's
Okay,
like
Gaspar,
sounds
no.
insane.
And what's even crazier is I want to say the two actresses who play the two leads in it are women that this man who made this movie was involved with, and that's what gave him rise to this movie. And when you see the movie, you'd be like, I don't know that you should be paid to do this. I'm not sure that's what your life should be.
This shouldn't have been allowed.
I don't know who greenlit this, but can we get can Bob Mueller take that next? Can he look into it? You know?
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's like I've been trying to psych myself up to rewatch Antichrist to see if it's any good.
Oh boy.
Because that was when I like sat down with a friend at a nice evening.
It
was
good.
like, yeah, let's have a quiet evening. Penetration. Like the first thing you
Why
see.
would you?
Yeah.
Why would you have a quiet evening and pick a Lars von Trier
We didn't know what
movie?
it was. We were just like, we like horror. This is a horror movie. I've
We
seen the
ordered
trailers.
the duck.
It's it's Lars von Trier doing horror, and it was like that's got to be good. And then before you know it,
I broke up with a nice Glenlivet that I've been holding on to for ages.
Exactly.
Ages past.
You delightful fool!
And then
Why would you
said,
kick back and put on a film called
Shall-
Antichrist
shall we
by
enjoy
Lars von
Antichrist?
Trier?
that's literally it. Like I think I was drinking some wine at the time, like, and then it was next thing I know,
It's
Willem Dafoe's ejaculating blood.
you're never gonna have a relaxing evening with Lars.
I knew it wasn't
Yeah,
going to be
Lars von Trier,
relaxing.
that was enough.
I knew it wasn't going to be relaxing. It was just like it's a fucking horror movie, Lars von Trier horror movie. That's got to be
really
great.
like the idea of Dave has a really high class life in his apartment and then puts on Antichrist.
This was like I was living in a brownstone in Chicago at the time.
Or
It
like
was
a
very
sport
nice.
coat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dressed up in his finest coattails, you know, like got his whiskers shaved and shaped.
Wearing a captain's hat for no reason.
Oh, there's always a reason.
Okay.
Just putting your slippers up.
Right.
Watch some
Watch
Antichrist.
Trying to figure out if you're a pipe guy. Like,
Yeah.
you need to have a pipe if that's who you are.
I'm gonna see
Yeah.
if the pipe pairs well with this viewing of Antichrist.
I'll have the Glenlivet 18, I think,
Oh.
and your finest weed.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So go watch Antichrist.
Yeah.
everyone.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
actually think that's a
Get
good movie.
really high
I really
and
like
watch
that movie.
Antichrist.
but
I thought it was
it's
really
tough.
good when I watched
Yeah,
it. It was just one of those.
I don't think I've ever seen an entire film of his. They're
Yeah.
so rough.
Dogtown. Is that the name? Alpha. What's the name of the movie where he does the taped off scenes?
Alpha Dog.
Alpha Dog.
Alpha Dog.
That one upset
That's
me.
I like that movie.
I was excited for that one because I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. And then it was tragic and based off a true story.
I think
Which,
maybe we're thinking of the wrong. Also, he did the 5 Obstructions. Have you seen that movie?
no.
This is worthy tangent. 5 Obstructions. Lars von Trier gets his favorite filmmaker, I'm putting that in quotes, from his childhood who made a short film, and he makes the man remake the film 5 times. But each time he makes a condition that this man has to make it under, and the conditions are all fucking evil. Like,
So-
every one of them's evil.
So Lars von Trier tortures a man.
Yes, and he's so, like, you know how much glee you have? Lars von Trier's got a fucking bucket of it.
Right.
It's like a spare bucket of glee. That's how much he has to, like, hurt this man that he loves, in quotes. And, like, the other filmmaker who makes the films, like, it pains him to do it. It's so good. You have to see this movie. Real good, guys.
Jesus.
What a monster that we allow to continue existing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I
Well, there's-
like his movies.
there's,
I'm
like,
okay with it.
sure.
You know?
Handfuls of stories of him creeping on women, which
Of course.
and it's funny because out of all the stories of people like, and not just women, like men too, have been like, yeah, he really was an upsetting man. Who was it? John C. Reilly quit one of his films when he found out he was going to kill a donkey to make it.
Right.
And it's stuff like that. All these actors and actresses being like, he's a very upsetting guy, except for one person. It was Willem Dafoe.
Yeah,
Who's just
who's
like,
like,
yeah,
I'm
he
fine
seemed
with him.
fine.
Yeah.
I've worked with him several times. We went skinny dipping once. It's just like, oh, you
Yeah, it seems
crazy
fine.
son of a bitch.
God. I shouldn't say that I'm fine. The more I read up on Lars von Trier, I just looked him up and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not fine with it.
Done some shit.
So please don't at me about that. I don't want to hear about it. I will say I thoroughly enjoyed Melancholia and Dogville.
I
and
like
Dancer
his
in the Dark.
I like his movies.
I do too.
He's a monster.
yeah.
All right, let's go to the
I
Romanoffs.
forgot he did Melancholia.
That's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's a weird movie.
I know, but that's
Kirsten
so-
Dunst was very uncomfortable while filming it.
I'm sure
I'm
she
sure she
There's
was.
interviews
can
with her
tell.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't a pleasant film for anyone
No.
to make. I don't think.
No.
Let's move on.
The Romanoffs, which is
Yeah, what is this?
Matthew
It's like
Weiner is New
Why
series.
why should I know him?
Madmen.
Madmen.
Okay.
The creator of the Madmen.
Madmen.
Yeah, so I'm very excited. It has a lot of Mad Men in it.
It does, yeah.
He's given a lot of Mad Men
It has some
jobs.
Ron Livingston.
Yeah, some Ron. I looked up the IMDb, and
is
I don't
Ron
know.
Livingston is he Sterling? Is that who that is? No, Ron Livingston's the guy from Office Space.
Yeah.
Who's the what's the name?
That's
of the actor that plays,
John
Sterling?
Slattery. Yeah,
John
Christina Hendricks is
That
in
guy
there.
cannot make a mistake.
No, he's
No.
That
he
man
can't.
is impervious to mistakes. He is amazing.
Although I think I have seen him in like '90s action films every now and then. He'll
he
like
popped
play a
up
cop.
someplace weird.
Yeah,
I think he's in Eraser, actually.
that would be So I think he makes some mistakes,
Well,
but there
it was
early
96,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. Everybody was.
Got to start somewhere.
There's a statute of limitations on whether he made a mistake, Dave, and I'm willing to
Also,
take that to
I will
the
say,
state
if
court.
it's the '90s and someone's like being a Schwarzenegger film.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you do it.
That was the that
don't
was
know
actually
you're
the last
making a racer.
Schwarzenegger. That was the last big Schwarzenegger action film that made money.
Right. But yeah, the Romanoffs, one thing that makes me curious is I just looked up the cast and everybody's credited for one episode.
Yeah,
It
I
seems
don't-
kind of like an anthology.
Yeah,
does.
because it says something like 3 continents, 8 countries, and it's all these different people.
not
that
the
are
same
all-
time period. I think it might jump around time period.
Maybe.
It's unclear, and they're all. I think the thread is that they're all could be related to the Romanov,
And probably
Yeah.
aren't.
but probably right.
Right.
They all got killed.
I hope people watch it because a show that I really enjoyed, it was dumb, but I really enjoyed it, was Sense8, and that takes place in like 8 different countries because it's following all these characters who are like psychically connected, and it was made by the Wachowskis, and it's so fucking weird that it's like you're not going to get a big audience for it. And I watched it assuming like, okay, this is all probably shot in Los Angeles. There's no reason to shoot it. And I looked at the behind the scenes. They're like, no, we shot in these places, and it's like $10 million an episode. And it's like,
Jesus.
why are you doing this? And
Why
this
did they
feels
let
like that.
them do
Yeah,
this?
why did they let the Wachowskis do that? And this is another one where I'm like, oh, I hope they don't like, because yeah, I hope they don't pull the same shit because it seems like it could be expensive
Oh yeah.
to
I
film
think-
this.
What do you feel like? I'm sure you watched all of Mad Men, right?
No.
Oh, you didn't.
I
Okay.
did. I really
feel
liked it.
I feel like Mad Men is a masterpiece.
I need to go back and watch it it's that thing where it's like I need to watch it when I didn't have like 2 years between seasons because
Yeah.
those motherfuckers. But I loved it. I really
I always found it in the day to day when I watched it pretty opaque and frustrating. But then you go back and watch it, and you're like, man, there's a lot more. This thing's really dense and well crafted. This guy should always get at least a season. If he wants to do a show, give him a season and see what he does.
Oh yeah,
That's how
absolutely.
I feel. Like, let him do it. I don't think everything he makes is great, and I do think he's self-indulgent. And by that I mean some of Mad Men is bad. But like,
Well, it's a soap opera, but it's really good. I feel the same thing about like 6 Feet Under, where it's like,
oh, I love that show.
yeah, where it's like it's just about people clashing and having these relationships, which is ultimately kind of soap opera-y, but it's a higher level of what we think of in soap operas.
That's a great show.
It's so
I
good.
never saw that.
That's the only time I've
man.
cried during a series finale,
That
and
show,
I mean like crying like a baby.
that has one of the best finales to any show
Yeah.
ever. And
I've
like, when I was 21, which is years and years hence, like I was coming out of a conservative culture, so like the gay character on that show was like really transformative for me. Like in terms of making me sympathetic.
Oh yeah, Dexter.
It was like a really cool rendering that like really challenged my categories, and that I think alone is a really cool effect. Of
Oh
the show,
yeah,
So yeah,
it's just a fucking great show.
I missed
Yeah.
a lot of late 90s, early 2000s, like great television.
If you haven't gone back and done that one, and I guess Sopranos.
I saw season 1 of The Sopranos.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you're a Samantha or if you're a Carrie. You have no idea.
Yeah.
I've seen a little bit of Sex and the City.
Right.
Sex and the City is also really good.
It's not so bad.
It was one of those things where I remember
It's
I was
fine
like
with
I was like a
It's not
teenager. I
amazing.
was like, or like in my 20s. Well, here's the thing: HBO has, especially at that time, was consistently good. So I remember like a girl I was dating was like, "You got to watch this," and it started with the HBO logo, and I was like, "All right, it's HBO." And then I was watching it, and I was just like, "Oh, I have to watch the next one and the next one." I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's HBO." Like, everything they do
That's when it
is
started.
addicting and good. Yeah.
Like
so
I'm just now watching Deadwood.
oh
yeah, fucking Ted.
yeah. They had the first like 10 shows they made were basically can't miss.
Yeah.
I mean, like they had The Wire. Like they were.
I'm also just not getting through the
Oh,
Wire.
The Wire.
Okay.
I'm on like
I'm
season
not trying to shame
4,
you.
I think.
I'm not trying because you've seen
Did you
everything.
watch Generation Kill, which was the guy's follow-up?
I'm giving
I
you
like
the I'm giving you the
Generation
shaky
Kill.
fingers because I saw The Wire, which
Yeah,
was
obviously,
far
yeah.
better in every way.
Did you see this thing before The Wire? That really bummed me out. It was like a miniseries.
It's okay.
It was like too real almost.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, that I remember. I mean, again, I watched The Wire in real time.
Right.
Like I was watching it season to season, and like to me, it
must
didn't
be
feel.
brutal.
Well, to me, it didn't feel like a show. To me, it felt like a window into like. I mean, it is a show. It's obviously a show, but again, white conservative kid. It's like,
Right.
my God, like that was another category challenging film. Or
Well,
show.
what's his name? The creator came.
David Simon. Yeah,
What was his job in
he
Baltimore?
was a reporter.
Right. He was a reporter. Yeah. So it wasn't like he didn't know what he was talking about.
And it's cool. Now we're just talking about The Wire.
Welcome to
another thing we should do,
Wirecast.
yeah.
Welcome to Wirecast. I like how each season is examining a different area.
I do too.
Yeah,
how
different
the
problem area. Yeah.
is how the same problem affects all these
Have
different.
you gotten
areas.
into schools yet? Have you gotten? Into
I'm in the school season right now.
Oh, okay.
Tom.
That's season 4, right?
That is
Yeah.
that's Royal Rumble '99. That school.
Because the third season is
Yeah, 'cause The Rock is in it.
Amsterdam.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Anyway,
All right. So
That's
this
so
is
good. Yeah.
next one is Next Gen. This is I think the first Netflix CGI children's movie, right?
Maybe
Netflix is
is
they're
that
really
an important
covering
moment?
I don't know.
I think it's weird that it's interesting that Netflix is really stepping it up. Like they're doing these indie movies. They do sci-fi, which is always bad. And I realize why Netflix sci-fi is bad. Because if you can afford to do a theatrical release for a big CGI sci-fi thing, you do it. The only reason you go straight to Netflix is if you've made something that is bad.
Dave, I'm growing more and more concerned that Netflix is actually just a giant pit of money. That's debt. Actually, that's actually debt,
Mhm.
and that
Right.
one day the machines are going to grind to a halt. You know what I mean? It's not because this is a bad movie. It's fine, but like the way you just couched it, like Netflix is finally doing this relatively obscure genre
accolade.
thing,
Yeah.
and it's like we never know how much money they're making.
They don't tell us shit.
No, they don't
we don't know
release
anything.
any information.
And you've said this before. I'm not inventing
Yeah.
this point, but like this is the kind of project that to me, I watch it and I'm like, boy, I hope they're making a lot of money because this doesn't do anything for me. This project does nothing for me. There's nothing wrong with it.
Here's the
We
thing.
need this market too.
Here's the thing about Netflix that is why it's like hard to tell.
Yeah.
Is that first of all, I don't think they've made anything yet that's made money off merchandise. They haven't made the Star Wars, where it's like people go out and buy toys for it. But I think the Netflix has the benefit of they don't need the movies they come out to make money because they're budgeting backwards. Because I know nothing about this. I'm assuming they make a certain amount of money from subscriptions for millions of people who are just watching their shit. So they must know their budget better than studios. Because they know, look, this is how much money's coming in.
That's a lot of optimism.
And we're going to make this movie and put it out. They don't make anything more from that. They just keep getting subscribers.
That can't be right. Because then you have to think of each movie as being A, potentially an asset that makes money in theatrical releases if they do that, and B, an asset in terms of recuperating subscriptions and new audience.
Yeah, I don't think they're
Which
doing
is gotta be
theatrical
what this
releases because that takes money away from them. They're thinking of buying theaters.
That's
So is
a problem.
Amazon.
Yeah.
They're looking at what's it called? Not Landmark. One smaller chain.
One of these was an Amazon movie, by the way. I don't remember which one. There was
Suspiria.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Amazon's production logo, that looked like a garbage fire.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm
they've
talking
had a
about?
terrible
Yeah.
production.
It looked like something off iDVD.
Right.
Yeah,
it was
it
real
looks
bad.
I think
real bad.
Amazon's playing the game a little bit because they've put out. They might have already won an Oscar. Amazon at this point. I think they did I think The Big Sick is
Sick
theirs.
an
Yeah.
Amazon,
Yeah.
They're playing the game with theaters where they're like, and studios where I think they're teaming up. Netflix, I think, just wants to do their own thing, and I think
they
that's
don't want to they don't want to be interconnected
yeah,
to other companies as much.
yeah, and I think that's again, it's another difference because Amazon, you rent stuff, you buy it per piece of content. Netflix, again, it's just all subscription money. So one individual thing I don't think makes they know how many people are watching it, but I guess they can translate that to how much money they're making. But I feel like it's a whole different business model for them, where they can put out like $100 million movie, and they sort of know what they're getting out of
Somebody
that.
there understands how to make money on making movies.
Yeah,
One would hope, because otherwise, why are they in the business?
yeah.
It can't just be a passion project at
But-
this point.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's either what I'm saying or it's Movie Pass. And we'll
Boy,
get
boy.
there'll be a
God.
documentary made where it's people just like, yeah, we were doing drugs every
God
day, didn't
bless
know what was
their
going on.
completely insane business plan.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
made
yeah.
no sense.
I love Moving Past so much, but it's over now.
That
You
was-
zany bastards.
I remember, I think on the
Reach for the
podcast, I was having
stars.
people try to break it down for me and being like, so wait, they buy the tickets and then sell them
It's
for
the-
less? Like,
it's
what
the,
is
uh,
going on?
It's the episode of It's Always Sunny when they they try to use Patty's dollars and then realize
Right.
that they're just like they don't have any inventory and they don't have any money.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, this is still a business somehow.
It's like many jokes you've seen in I just blanked that movie, the HBO series that's Silicon Valley. They have so many businesses that are like,
Right.
I'm going to take that pizza, I'm going to sell for $1 less, rebox it. They're like, they give them a look like, that's $2 extra you didn't make, man. That's not going to work. Well, in volume. You do it in volume. It's great.
All right, we got
This
one more.
movie's fine. This next gen movie is fine.
It's got
Sure.
fucking Jason Sudeikis.
I wish the robot
David
looked
Cross.
different.
It looks a lot like a Wall-E ripoff.
Yeah, here's my.
Yeah,
I'm actually
it
going to
does.
guess that it won't do well. I think so far Netflix movies mostly aren't good.
great. Yeah.
Like I said, like if you made something that's like a big CGI ordeal, like and it costs a lot of money, I think you want to get that money back. And if you're trying to sell it or if something's happening, like Cloverfield Paradox was supposed to be in theaters. And
Yeah.
then they looked at it and they're like, wait, this is bad. And so they dumped it on Netflix. I think with sci-fi and horror, like if it's dumped on Netflix, it's probably bad because of just those are things that people make for theaters, I think.
Well, kids' movies
But-
usually clean up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Usually.
So again, I don't know if Netflix like made this movie and set out
Or they're
say
just
we're gonna.
distributing it.
Yeah, I don't know because I feel like the difference will be the difference in a good or bad movie, though.
right. I mean, because like, how many more times do they need to train that dragon?
Yeah.
Everybody's still watching them train that dragon.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
kids,
it's like the third time they've been training it.
kids will watch anything.
There's a show about it
Man,
on Netflix. You just
Man.
learn all about training
When-
your dragon.
When's that dragon gonna be full trained?
I remember
When's it gonna finally do the tricks? you know?
my nephew when he was like 3-ish, he watched like we would put it on over and over again. It was like a public access made 20-minute documentary on nut monster trucks, and it was the trashiest thing ever. Didn't matter. Doesn't matter. He watched the shit out of those
When was-
monster trucks.
When was the last time you've seen monster trucks in real life? Have you ever gone to a monster truck rally?
Never.
When I was 21, I had a friend at the court I used to work with.
This is a
that was
big
like,
year for you.
We got to go see the monster trucks. So I
They're
went with him.
great.
He was a wonderful man. His name was Jose. And I had only been never, so this is the first time I'd ever gone.
Right.
And I didn't realize it until we started watching it that it's all fake. Until like I didn't realize it until Gravedigger came out and beat the shit out of everybody, and I was like, "Oh, this is wrestling." Oh, I didn't understand it was wrestling because
Wait, it's fake?
it's fake. It's totally fake, Dave.
That
Bigfoot
just-
can't win. It's always going to be Gravedigger every time.
So disappointing.
I know. It was more disappointing to see how loud everybody cheered because that was like, "Oh, this is what."
It makes sense
That
because
makes
I'm
a shocking
imagining.
amount of sense now.
Yeah, I'm imagining going into monster truck and like training to be a driver, and then and being like, "So we're gonna just go out there and fight with our trucks." And they're like, "No, of course you're not.
Right, it's not going to be
Why
Mad
would you
Max.
do that?"
Because
Yeah,
we can only put the show on once if it's Mad Max.
Yes.
Right.
You know?
There is millions of dollars in this truck.
Right. These tires cost more than your family will ever make.
yeah.
You know?
Oh,
Anyway.
that's a shame. Green Book. I want to talk about
It's a
Green Book.
Truckosaurus. isn't real.
So what is it you like about this movie exactly? Not that it's bad. I just want to know why you, because you seem very passionate.
I like
about
that
it.
Viggo Mortensen is doing like an Italian face thing.
So you like the acting in it, basically.
I no, not well. I think we'll see. I
thought they were both kind of daring performances.
Yeah, I liked what I wrote here is that if this had been made in the 90s, it would be a comedy with Joe Pesci and Eddie Murphy.
Well,
It felt like a buddy
yes.
road trip.
It is that.
But it's done
Yeah.
as more of a drama. And I do like that a lot. I think it's a better version of what I'm imagining in the 90s.
I agree that it would be dumber in the 90s.
It's based off a true story.
But also like
for people who don't know, it's a what is it, a pianist and a bodyguard?
And his Italianish
Yeah, and the pianist is black, and it's in like 1950s America, and it's the bodyguard. Yeah, and it's like, I'm showing you how to be lower class, and then he learns everything about how hard it is to be black in America.
Right.
And that seems like a really, I don't know, it seems like a really fun movie, like a one of them heartwarming ones.
I guess. Maybe I'm cynical.
It's the guy from Moonlight, right?
Yeah, which I'm nice to see him.
Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, it's nice to see him do stuff.
He's a great actor, and I like the part for him, and I like Viggo Mortensen in it.
Yeah,
like I do like the acting.
I think,
it just doesn't. This is gonna seem really tone deaf, maybe. It just doesn't seem like gonna be a powerful movie to me. It seems like you already kind of know what it's gonna be.
Again,
I see what you're saying.
It seems like the message is like, hey, we're not so different, you and I. Like, it's very basic, which again is why I think it would be a great 90s comedy starring Joe Pesci and Eddie Murphy. Like, the message doesn't seem that complex. It just looks like really heartwarming and like nice little
But that's why
journey.
I think it's weird that it's a drama. Because a drama further leans into this message is really important.
That said, we don't know where this is going. The plot.
We don't.
Maybe
Fair
it's
enough.
based off a true story. Maybe that true story is way more complex than what they're making it out to be in the trailer.
That's totally possible.
Yeah.
Because it seems really by the numbers to me.
Yeah, Viggo is doing like...
He's doing Italian face.
Yeah, he's doing Italian face. It's like that movie Don Juan, where it's like I'm a quarter Italian, and like just watching Don Juan trailer, I was like, should I be offended?
Yeah, he's definitely doing like Fat De Niro.
Yeah, where it's just like
he was doing something with his face to the point where it took me almost the entire trailer to figure out it was Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
He's pulling a Fat De Niro.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he said, "This valley is swarming with orcs," that you realized who it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm curious about it. I like dumb, heartwarming films. Like I enjoy like Bucket List, because it's like there's not much to it. It's just like, let's watch these old men have fun.
That's like the second time Bucket List has come up in a.
Well, it's a
You love Bucket
perfect
List.
representation of the
You
type
love
of film I'm
Bucket
talking
List.
about.
You love Bucket List?
It's just like
you love the Mario Brothers movie?
Space
Okay.
Cowboys.
You love fantasy balls? There's a lot of
fantasy balls.
things, yes, fake balls that you
That
gesticulate
I haven't
with.
stroked a ball in a while.
in a
minutes.
good
Yeah.
10 minutes.
It's
Yeah.
been minutes, sir.
That's fair. Forgive me. You deserve to be indignant about this.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You've earned the indignant.
Do you mind if I move us on to
Not at all.
news stories? The newest James Bond was delayed after Danny Boyle suddenly quits the project.
This was going to be his first Bond, right?
Sure.
Probably.
I heard there was like some fighting over the script and stuff like that.
Well, I think the most disturbing thing is the fighting about the script is because they all signed on to this project and there wasn't one. And then they wrote something, and somebody else wrote some, and then Danny Boyle's guy wrote one, and then they quit, and now they're back to zero
That
with
sounds
a
about
release
right.
date.
Of next year, yeah.
Which
it's like-
they're pushing the release date now.
Yeah, but it's like, how about if you're a studio,
Yeah.
pay somebody $50,000, pay 30 people $50,000 to each of them write a Bond movie. Just write a Bond movie.
Yeah.
Go for it. Write one.
It's
You know what I mean? And like pick the best one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
That
we
is
should-
well spent money.
I
You know
think
what I mean?
we should kind of know what the movie is before we start hiring people and set a release
And also,
date.
like, do some Darwinism here. You know what I mean? Like, invest the money in a bunch of shots at it,
they're
and then pick the best one.
it's weird to say, but they're trying to also just stretch out Bond more than he should be. I'm not saying they shouldn't make more Bonds. It's that, remember when the Undertaker came back after already.
You're looking at me like I wouldn't know. Of course
Yeah.
I know.
But you had
I know
told me, I'm looking at you because
exactly
you
what
had
you're
told me
talking about.
about this.
Yeah.
Is the year before he did this big, like, I'm done.
Big farewell, yeah.
And then he came back another year and it was like sort of half-assed. I'm like, nah.
Correct.
Scott, what's the
All
last? Spectre ends in a way where it's like, and that's it for Daniel Craig. Like, arc for Bond completed. And then Daniel Craig was saying like, yeah, I'd rather slit my wrist than be Bond again. I mean, I know he was exaggerating, but it's him saying like, yeah, I feel done. everybody's done. We're all done. And this studio's just like that guy at the party who's trying to keep the party going and everybody's trying to go to sleep.
Right.
Like nobody wants it anymore. Like this version. And everybody's like, hey, what about Idris Elba? Like, what about like changing up? What about Gillian Anderson wants to be Bond? And it's just like,
Sure.
why not doing something like different? And the studio's just like, no. Daniel Craig is Bond, and it's just
they pour money on it.
Yeah,
they shower buckets of money on it.
Yeah.
So of course he's going to say yes.
What is he supposed to do?
And then and they're like, let's get Danny Boyle, and then like you said, it was like, so what do we do? And they're like, no, and it's that. It's just
we
this.
thought you'd know.
Yeah, they need to make a graceful exit and move on to another Bond.
Sure, get us a new Bond. I don't know. I have no idea why anybody's fighting Idris Elba. It's like, he's perfect. He's perfect.
Unless he doesn't want to do it.
I think that might be it, because Idris Elba keeps coming out and saying like there's nothing to this.
Yeah.
Maybe because I know Idris Elba with the Avengers stuff, like you can see it in the movies. He's just like, like
sure.
He doesn't want to be there.
I got an idea. John Hamm, anybody?
John Hamm.
He's a little old, but like,
so's Bond.
Fucking, how about it? John Hamm would be amazing as Bond.
Sure.
Like, I understand he's not English, but like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Let him, give him a shot at an English accent.
Let him do a
see how
voice.
he does it.
Yeah.
Got Robert Downey Jr. to do a voice to be Sherlock Holmes.
I'd rather have Idris Elba, but like, if that's not going to happen, John Hamm, why not?
I could see John Hamm.
Of course you can. Look at him. He looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Driving that car around. New kids.
Yeah, if they went back, I mean, I liked this take on Bond. I liked the I'm gritty, fucked up Bond. But if they, like, I could see them going back to, like, let's just make him charming and fun.
Just pour out another champagne Bond. Give us 3 more champagne Bond episodes.
Give us another Roger Moore.
Bring back Pierce Brosnan. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Boy. Let's get old ass Pierce Brosnan to
we've
limp
seen
through.
Old Bond. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Sean Connery did it.
That is one of those things I've heard some people being like, I don't care that he's black. I just think he's too old to be Bond, Idris Elba. And it's like, bullshit.
Yeah.
Bond has been like,
Daniel Craig's in his 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
Just let anybody who I like be Bond.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are my rules.
I'm still good with Gillian Anderson.
Great.
Sure.
Or David Duchovny. Either of the X-Files cast.
Not the Cov.
Mitch Pileggi
can't be
Skinner. Skinner Bond.
Cole Meany.
Colm
be Bond.
All right.
I could see Cole Meany as Bond.
I found the script conversation to be the most disturbing thing about that news story.
That is pretty.
Well,
God, what are we even doing?
That seems like a thing with movies now. It's just they start backwards. Like they'll be like, we have no script, but we have this one really cool scene we want to do.
We have
and it's just like,
we have this temple we can blow up. It's ancient and it costs a lot of money.
We have this dark universe logo.
Yeah,
exactly.
We had someone Photoshop this.
Jesus Christ. If you guys haven't seen the Tom Cruise Mummy, it opens with a very fanciful logo for Universal's now abandoned plans for a dark universe.
Wow.
It's the perfect bad
universe.
film.
And it's like such an embarrassing shot to call.
Yeah.
Particularly now watching the movie that you know that none of these things are happening.
That's intriguing.
It's
it's very delightful.
Yeah. It's like someone like tipping their hat and winking at a crowd before trying to break dance and shitting themselves. Just like, check it out. And then just awful. Oh, it's so good.
Can I skip the next news story and go
Of course.
to...
We can skip a lot of news stories.
I want to talk about this Purge creator story. So, the Purge creator, this is the news headline, is the creator of the Purge has been sued for what seems like an eternity over the idea that he plagiarized from another writer the idea of the Purge. And this suit has gone through the Court of Appeals.
Yeah.
It's been ongoing for 10 years. And now this new fact emerges that, like,
evidence tampered.
Probably tampered with evidence.
Yeah.
This guy probably did steal this shit.
What he tampered with was the time codes of emails or exchanges
to
make it look
when
like...
he got this script from his friend.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's funny to me because I get the Purge is specific enough that you can have this lawsuit, but it's also just the general idea is not original at all.
No,
it was Star Trek.
Star Trek episode.
So it's just funny that this is all happening for an idea that's all like kind of mediocre to begin with.
I think that's funny too. Like this guy who got this idea stolen is gonna make so much money.
Oh yeah.
as he, I guess, would deserve to, right?
These movies have made like hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
It's like when Marvel finally caved and gave Stan Lee all his Spider-Man money.
Yeah.
That old man was dancing down the street.
He sure was. Like, I love that we're in an era of crime where people are so dumb and so like arrogant about what they can get away with that they think they can do this and get away with it. Like, I feel like everybody's sort of lost respect for the reality of cops and the reality of courts.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, no, we've been doing this a long time, dude. Like, that's
Yeah.
we're way ahead of you on changing.
You mean
email
cops
dates.
know how to use computers?
Right.
Yeah, man.
Right. And like, you mean judges aren't going to be like, you naughty boy? No, they're going to throw your ass in jail.
Yeah.
They're going to jail
take all
your
of your
ass.
purge money.
Yeah. I love this. This makes me
That's
warm-hearted.
funny. Yeah.
Not because I hate this guy, just because like
I do like
don't do
what-
crimes.
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
just don't be a scumbag and steal your friend's fucking script.
Yeah.
You dork. And then badly try to change the emails.
I know what I'll do if I go back and forward it to myself and change the date. I got him. You know, it's like shit like that.
If,
You're
it,
like, all right,
if
bro.
it didn't fool your parents when you tried to Photoshop your report card,
No kidding.
Why do you think it's going to fool a court?
No kidding. Take that B right to it. Take that D to a B. No kidding.
You jack and ape?
Yeah, it's some real Better Call Saul shit over there.
Some real bootleg tactics right now.
Yeah. I cared about this John Lithgow story. Do you want to talk about that?
Oh, to play Roger Ailes in the Fox News
Why are we
movie?
making so many Roger Ailes stories?
I don't know.
Why are we
Well,
doing
this
that?
is the same one. This
It's
is
the same one?
No, there's another one
With
that's
Nicole
mentioned in
Kidman.
there that's being played by Russell Crowe. That's just the life of Roger Ailes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Why
Okay.
are we doing this?
I don't know.
I think it's we were talked about this when that first came out with Nicole Kidman stuff. They're doing it's the movie W again, where they're like,
I know.
let's jump on this, and it's like, no, too soon.
Yeah,
and
it's about all
part
this.
of
This one's about specifically the scandals.
yeah, and it's like it's so soon that it's not funny or fun to live again.
Right, and we have there's no new perspective on
Right.
it yet. So it's just people like it's
I would
weird.
argue we don't even know what's going to happen to Fox News.
Right.
Yeah.
I think something is going to happen to Fox News.
I don't
like,
know,
There's
man.
a trajectory. Not that it's going down, but that like there's going to be a narrative about Fox that's related to our political climate.
Right.
That's going to really shape how we view that time and that network and Roger Ailes' story. And it seems really dumb, aside from the personal details, to assume that we can adequately cover it from a historical point of view at all.
Right.
You know?
When it's like 2 years
You know what would
old.
Yeah.
be a great thing to make a movie about? Because we talked about this before with I think it was the Michael Moore Fahrenheit 11/9.
Yeah.
And like it's that they aren't telling us anything new. There's no new observations. Like with Fox, it's like you
Yeah,
either
there can't be.
you either think Fox is terrible or you watch Fox. I want to see a movie about fucking Sinclair Broadcasting because they've been around. I did research for them for some more news, writing an
Cody
episode of
Shoddy.
that for Cody Shoddy. They you know the Swift boat thing? Remember that with John Kerry?
Yes,
Of course.
That was them.
Oh.
They've been around since then, and they had like business ties with the like companies in the Iraq War. They were pushing the narrative of staying in Iraq. Like they've been around for a very long time and been embedded in our news, and we don't talk about them nearly as much as Fox. And they're terrifying. They're the guy in charge, like Roger Ailes, has like sex scandals and stuff. We don't care. He was caught with a prostitute getting a blowjob, and he made his news anchors in his news like his station carry out his community service in the form of like PSAs and stuff. He made his underlings do his community
Okay.
service. Like
That's
this guy,
crazy.
yeah,
Wow.
they're insane. The whole family, he has like a bunch of legal disputes about land. He's just a bad person.
Like William Randolph Hearst.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a cartoon character.
Yeah, and we don't talk about this, and like they've just been like the Swift boat thing affected an election. Like they have power. We've only just learned about their stuff, and then we've seemed to have forgotten about them since that video came out.
There's just so many bad guys.
Yeah,
It's a lot of bad guys.
It's hard to. It's like you just want to take down the capo and the lieutenants, and then like worry about some of the soldiers and a little bit.
We'll get the rest of the guys from Brazil after we're
Yeah,
done.
right. For real.
so yeah, John
I know.
Lithgow.
Just heavy sigh. Although I do
Yeah.
think if anybody was perfect for this job, it's John Lithgow.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
he's perfect for this role. I really do.
Sure.
You know, he's a good actor.
He is.
We need
He's
him
great
in more
in
things.
so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
like
needs
him.
to be in more stuff.
He needs to be the villain of more action movies.
He does, but also
He needs to get into improbable fistfights with Stallone.
I want to get him murdered by John Wick. Like, I want to see John Wick take on Lithgow.
you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I think that we all need to take a moment and appreciate how good he was on Third Rock from the Sun,
Oh, yeah.
which is like an average show. He's incredible. In
Yeah,
it.
he's really great.
He's so good in that show. Just,
He was too good for that show.
Yeah. What a beautiful man. Anyway,
what a perfect gentleman.
on to what I would describe as the Davest movie of all time. If I had to say what's the most Dave, here it comes.
Well, this is our closing segment, movies that deserve more hype. Cue the music. Everybody hold for the music.
Dave's going to
Hold for
sing
the
a little
music.
ditty for us.
Waiting for the music. Everybody hang on for the music.
That was
Hold.
that was like you're gonna do a little musical number.
Skid it, bip.
Perfect.
Movies that deserve more hype.
Oh, that's
Dave.
perfect. All right. This is called The Ranger. It's about a ranger. Well, it's about a group of punk rockers who
Okay, that's
go-
not a ranger.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to the ranger. They go to
You are
a
being so obstinate right now.
they're on the
I
run.
love it.
They're on the run from the cops because one of them stabbed a cop at a show. And
Sure.
they go to
God.
the woods to this girl's family's cabin, old cabin, and the girl is like saved by a park ranger years ago. That's the setup to this. And then her punk friends and they start disrespecting the woods and like spray painting things and like throwing beer cans everywhere.
Disrespecting
And then they
woods.
proceed to be hunted and murdered by
the ranger?
Oh, the ranger. Yeah, it's just a park ranger.
It seems to be also in the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like shot and no, it's like clearly like I know how B movies work. I'm making a B movie. You know, it's like a clever.
Yeah.
I'm super into that.
I am too,
Yeah.
because the
I thought it seemed
AV
great.
It is
Club,
the Davis movie.
yeah, the AV Club article talking about it compares the killer to Jason Voorhees in his kills. He said he's very creative, like Jason Voorhees, and it's just like, okay, well,
This is all
I'm
I need.
Fucking in, yeah. The park ranger's a guy.
Even
He's,
I can speak intelligently to that point. That's quite a take.
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
better be sawing people in half. and,
Right.
like,
He better
you know.
be a dazzling magician.
What's
if you're
funny-
Gonna, if you're going to compare him to Jason Bourne.
There's a clip from this, and in the trailer, all they show is a gunshot, them getting shot at, which, to be honest, that alone would make a good horror movie, is a group of people in the woods and someone's shooting at them. And they
Most
can't...
dangerous game.
Is that what that is? I thought that was you're being hunted, and it's like...
that is what it
no,
is.
I'm saying like the level of mysteriousness where it's like we're just in a cabin and we can't leave because every time we
Because you're getting
leave...
sniped.
you're just getting
somebody
sniped.
shooting at us. Yeah.
I think that would be a good... but like it sounds like he does other types of kills too. But I would have been happy with just this ranger
I mean, he's got
shooting.
to do park ranger stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to take somebody's bones and make a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got-
You know,
the forest fire is definitely going to be part of
Yeah,
it.
he's got to
Yeah.
do that.
A bear might be involved.
It sounds like he has some park ranger, like he has like one-liners and stuff that are ranger-esque.
He has to make merit badges out of skin, doesn't he?
Mhm.
Like, doesn't
He,
have,
he better, yeah.
Has to make a canoe out of somebody.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The guy playing it, it's oh, I just saw his name. Damn it, it's Jeremy Holm. He was in House of Cards and Mr. Robot. I sort of remember him in House of Cards. I think he's like a big guy. He looks like a murderer.
He looks like a murderer.
Yeah, it's no mask or anything,
He's
so
like-
they got a good.
He plays an
looking...
FBI guy, an FBI agent that is like, I want to say like corrupted by the space,
Right,
by Kevin the Space.
right.
Yeah,
K-Space.
He could be a fine killer.
Yeah.
Why couldn't this man kill? He could kill.
Yeah, I'm excited
Sure.
for it. This director, it's her first directing and writing gig, but I think she produced a bunch of horror movies, a bunch of like this kind of genre, this kind of level of indie
I
horror.
feel confident based on the trailer that she understands what is fun about this.
Yes.
I feel very confident about that. I will say that we should spend the rest of this podcast listing things the Ranger must do to fully live
Sure.
up to that premise.
Well, one real quick, just for people who want to see it, it's in select theaters right now in New York, and then later in LA in September, and then I assume it'll be on Amazon or something. It would be cool if it got a bigger release, but indie horror tends to just suddenly get dumped on Amazon.
you need this. See, you like these indie like first-time auteur director types. 'Cause
Sure.
What was the name of that movie that was that you love so much that was about the cult?
The Endless.
The Endless.
That's
So-
not first time. That was their, I think, second
No,
or
but
third.
but those guys did every job on that film. Have we talked about that on this show before?
No,
No.
that shocked me. I didn't realize that
They
the main
did-
characters are the
The
directors.
main characters are the directors. They also wrote it. They produced it. They DP'd it. They did they edited
Yeah.
it. They did
Yeah.
fucking everything.
Wow.
on
Dudes
that.
did everything.
You know, it makes you appreciate the film a little more, I would say. And it's fine.
good
It's a fine.
film.
It
thought it was
does. I really like their imagination. I like you need to see Spring. I like their brain. I actually think if they didn't do everything, their films would look a little more polished and like might come out a little
I
better.
think they would be better acted too. I think that
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
them insisting on being in it is.
I don't think they have to do everything. I'm sure it helps cut. Because that's the other thing is people praise them for being so indie because they're very, very low budget, and so this
That
is
saves
why.
you some money.
Yeah,
If your two leads are you.
I get it, but I'd like someone to give them money. I want to see what they
give
can
them
do
money.
with
They
money.
deserve it.
Yeah, give
Yeah.
us money.
They deserve. I mean, if they write a script that somebody cares about, give them some money.
Yeah.
You know, give this Park Rangers.
I'm sure they'll
give us
direct the
these
next
partners
Star
money.
Wars.
Let's see what he's
What's
got.
that?
I'm sure they'll direct the next Star Wars or something. That's how it's been going.
Star Wars is still a veteran director's medium. Like they're giving it back to J.J. Abrams.
That's true.
That's the safest
I
choice
did.
there is.
I guess after Gareth Edwards and Ryan Johnson, they're playing it safe.
But Ryan Johnson is also a veteran director.
Yeah, he's got a few. under
Yeah,
his
I
belt.
guess he is. Yeah,
He made Looper.
yeah.
You
He
did
made
make
Looper, but he went from Looper to Star Wars, and that's a hell of a jump. That's all I'm saying.
He had Bruce Willis in his movie. I would argue you've dealt with
That's
some,
true.
some
He's
real
got some
galactic
Willis in
level
there.
problems.
You've
when
dealt
you got
with the
that.
Empire at that
Yeah.
point.
I'm pretty sure. Sorry, this is a tangent. I think China paid for Brillis in that. What happened was when he goes, this part where he goes to China and that, I guess that's what, like, it was a Chinese company that was helping produce, and they're all like, well, we need him to go to China.
I hope
And it was
they-
going to be like France, and then they did that, and I'm sure that's the boost they needed for a Brillis. And so it's,
I hope that's how they decided what his hair should be for that
Yeah.
cameo.
My God,
and
that
what
hair.
the hats should be in the future. Because both of those things are impossible.
yes.
Completely impossible. Go back and watch Looper. Check out Bruce Willis's hair when he's in China.
It's great.
It's real
When he
good.
starts to turn from Joseph Gordon-Levitt into Bruce Willis, there's an in between.
Yeah.
There's like
it's a John Woo film.
like a
Yeah.
Ripley clone.
Yeah.
And
Oh, baby.
with his hair.
Oh, baby. What a
It's
treasure.
So goddamn good.
It really is. And those hats that are like just really shitty, like gaucho hats.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
in the
yeah,
future.
those are specifically the villain's sidekicks
Right.
because it's an image you see in the little boy's room. So I think like he makes his guys dress like that.
That's fine.
That's even
They
weirder.
look
Yeah.
dumb.
They look amazing.
They look
Those
dumb.
insane hats.
Yeah.
I feel like we've gone astray here.
Very far afield
From-
from the Ranger.
naming things ways the Ranger can
He
kill
needs to
people.
make like snowshoes out of people's skin.
He needs to take all the hair of all the victims and make a swing into the lake.
Yes,
Like
a rope swing.
single rope swing.
A single rope
into
swing
the lake,
of human
made
hair.
of
Oh,
human
yeah.
hair.
Yes.
You know?
If he catches one being irresponsible with fire, he should feed them to a bear, right?
And then hunt that bear.
A smoky.
Yeah.
No, it's Smoky. It's Smoky. Hunt Smoky.
You know,
Well, it doesn't have to be Smokey. He can feed Smokey and hunt a different bear.
I kind of want it to be Smoky.
I don't know. I realized I got into kind of deep waters with this idea because I was like, after merit badges, I was like, what else do park rangers do?
I don't think
like,
park
just-
rangers do merit badges. I thought that
I don't
was
think they do either.
Scouts
it's like
leaders.
scouts. Yeah,
I
you
don't
can
think
make
Park
confused.
rangers. I think park rangers. They just sit in towers and just from what I've experienced playing Firewatch, they uncover dark mysteries.
I think you
That
could
seems fair.
you could
around hikers.
Smush some peanut butter into your eyeballs and make like a bird feeder out of you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. He steals your glasses and makes binoculars out of them. You know, 'cause
Yeah.
rangers are always looking through binoculars at shit.
That's true. It's a big part of the
Oh,
job.
yeah, you
is
got
looking
it.
through
Yeah.
binoculars.
It's a big part of it. Yeah, he'd hang them from the weird towers that they're always in.
Yeah, those ranger towers.
Yeah, the ranger towers.
I like how sad and tired we are.
We've been at it for too long. I mean, we've been building up for a week,
Yeah.
and now we're blowing our load, and it's bigger.
It always comes.
It's bigger than
so you've been
usual.
Blue balls for a whole week.
Yeah.
And now this is the extra load.
And now
Yeah.
I'm just exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like not even a cigarette. It's
Right.
like, well, I'm going straight to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not even putting my pants back on.
Yeah.
We are sexy men.
Yeah.
Just really sexy.
Just devilishly so.
Boy, oh boy.
I think that's a show.
I'm pretty sure that's
I'm
a show.
pretty sure
yeah.
that's
it's,
a show.
it's a show in 2/3. How much time have we been recording?
10 hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, you are welcome. Hype yourself up.
This is a Hypecast
It's
special.
a Hypecast for the ages.
These are just
So
going to
good.
get longer and longer.
Yeah, well, it's anytime this guy shows up.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it's my fault because I like.
I mean,
the
I'm
fucking
enjoying
tangents.
it.
Yeah.
No,
I
it's
enjoy
good.
it.
It's good.
Yeah.
Adam, thank you for doing the show.
Thank you for having me.
What do you want to plug?
Well, of course, you can find me co-hosting one of my podcasts on the Small Beans Network called One-Upsmanship with Michael Swames about video games. You'll like it. I also co-host a podcast on the Unpops Network called Sport Horse with
Great
Todd
name.
Brown.
Woo!
and
That is
Brett.
an awesome name, yeah.
And it's about sports. And that's all I have for now.
Cool.
You can find
Sweet.
me on Twitter at TheRealGans. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right. Say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Our music is produced by Chris Corlew. You can follow him on Twitter at @thecorlew, Corlew, and find more music at shipwreckedsailor.bandcamp.com. Our artwork is produced by Justin Brown. You can follow him on Twitter at @JustinTBrown, and find more of his artwork at artnessbyjustinbrown.com and justinbrown.info. Hey everyone, this podcast is part of Story Mode, the podcast network of Gamefully Unemployed. You can support us and gain access to other great exclusive podcasts at patreon.com/gamefullyunemployed. That's patreon.com/GAMEFULLY unemployed, which is spelled like it sounds.